Hello friends and welcome to a lecture on Python. Today we will be learning about if statements. If statement is a statement which does a conditional execution of a body of code. Now there is a test expression. Let's say a greater than b is a test expression. If this is true, then a body of code is executed. And if this is false, then the body of code is not executed. Now, let's see examples of this. So, let's get ahead with it. We have two numbers. Number 1 is 87 and number 2 is 27. So we want to find the greatest of the two numbers Okay, and we assign it as number 1. Now we put a conditional statement, that is the if statement. So that's if number 2 is greater than number 1, then we have greatest of the two numbers as number 2. Then we print the result. The greatest of the two numbers is, and then we have, now let's execute this body of code. So it's obvious that we have the greatest of number as a result. Now let us make a few changes here. So let's take this as 27 and this as 87. The number 2 is 87. And let's execute it once again. So as you see, it gives 87. Well, you might say that okay, it's giving 87 nevertheless. So let's take another example, 24 and 84. Now it gives 84. So as you can see that it compares what are the greater of the two numbers and assigns the greater of the two numbers to this greatest of the two numbers. This is a variable and we get the result. So the condition is here, number 1 greater than number 2. If the condition is true, then greatest of the two number is executed. Or else the greatest of the two numbers is kept as it is. Now let us say we want to find the least of the two numbers. So let's change this code. So let's not change, rather copy this code and make a few changes. So we say least of the two numbers. So now we have number 24 and number 8. Now we assign least of the two numbers as number 1. And we say if number 2 is less than number 1, then we have the least of two numbers as number 2. Now let's run this code and let's write LEAST here, LEAST here and run this code. So as we can see, it has tested the expression and it has given the least of the two numbers. Now I had assigned least of the two numbers as number 1. It tested the expression, is number 2 less than number 1? Yes, number 2 is indeed less than number 1. So it reassigned the least of the two numbers variable to number 2 and it printed. So I had to write here least, L-E-A-S-T, yes, L-E-A-S-T and run this. So there we are. So A greater than B is one test expression, A lesser than B is one test expression. And similarly, we can also have test expressions as A greater than equal to B. So we will remove the statement for now and just see the results of it. So let's put this as number. Okay. And let's write this also as number, and I will demonstrate what it means. So number, right? Now this expression will test, is number 2 greater than equal to number 1, and it will print the number. It will give me the correct number, right? So let's execute this code now. So numbers is not defined, so I need to remember this, and there we are. There we are, and let's run this. It's done. Now, out of 2 and 8, 24 is the greater number. So it has taken 24. Now let me put number 1 as 8 and number 2 as 8. And let me run this. So even if I have an equal to sign, what this does is it checks if number 2 is greater than equal to number 1. Well, if it is equal to number 1 also, it assigns this and it runs it. So here the condition is greater than or equal to. So if I take this as 9 and let us rerun it, it will now print 9. Now if I print this as, put this as 7, run this. So it will take 8. Because what has happened now is number 2 is greater than equal to number 1. Yes. So if I even reduce this to 7 now and rerun it, it's going to do it. It's going to assign. Okay. Now let's look at less than equal to statement. So let's copy this code. And now let's do something interesting here. Let's write that if number 2 is less than equal to number 1. So there we are, less than equal to number 1. Then it should print hi, I am here. And if this condition is not executed, we print the condition was not executed. The condition was not executed. Right? So as of now, the condition is true and it should come here. So let's do it. There it is. But remember one thing, it will execute this statement and then it will come to the next statement. So both the statements will get executed. Now, this demonstration was done specifically for this purpose to show you that you have to be careful while using this. Remember one thing, it will check this and execute this and then naturally go to the statement. Okay, the algorithm is such. It will do a test expression, do the body of code and then go to the next statement. Now, even if it is false and it has to go to the statement which is given here, then if the condition is false, it will execute the statement below the body of the if. But remember one thing, after the body of the if, whatever is the next statement is executes it. This is important to understand. Now, let me take it as 8 and the condition wouldn't be true. As we can see here, the condition was not executed. Okay, the condition was not executed. Why? Because number 2 was greater than number 1. Now let's look at another natural extension of this. That is, let's insert another cell and check this out. And another condition that we can put here is between number 1 and number 2 is equal to. Okay, if number 1 and number 2 are equal, then it will say, hi, I am here. Otherwise, it will print nothing. So let's take it this way now. So it will print. So let me write print nothing. Now again, you have to note here that printing nothing is the next logical statement. So even if this statement is executed, it will print nothing after that. But if this statement is not executed, then it will print nothing. Okay, so now let's do it. 7, and let's start it off. So since the number was equal to, it says that I was here, then it came to the next logical statement. So let's write it as next logical statement. That would be more appropriate to demonstrate it off. And the next logical statement. Now let me take 7. Instead of 7, let me take number 2 as 9. Now if I run it, it's going to the next logical statement. It doesn't go to print, hi, I am here. Why? Because number 1 is not equal to number 2. And then we can also have one statement which in certain conditions is very helpful. That is, let's copy this. And this is not equal to. Not equal to. Okay. So if number 1 is not equal to number 2, it will execute this statement and then go to the next logical statement. If it is equal to, it will not execute this statement. Now number 1 is not equal to number 2, so it should print, hi, I am here. And it does that and then goes to the next logical statement. Now let me take number 1 equal to number 2. Now it will not go to the print, hi, I am here statement. And that's it. It goes to the next logical statement. So these are some of the if statements that we can execute. And these were the demonstration of all the conditions that you could put in an if statement. So that was all, guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.